YouTube channels also happen to be the angriest voices, and those voices are angry at women. These loud and vocal voices are not at all focused on men's self-improvement or on working on themselves or helping to uplift other men. Instead, they seem to spend the vast majority of their time gesturing at imagined hypocrisies, imagined slights, and attacks on men and masculinity that usually on the surface of it are not really that much of an existential threat to men to even begin with. There is no focus on self-improvement, which I believe is what is drawing men to the movement. It is what initially started to draw me towards the movement several years ago, was that I just wanted to be better as a man.
Yeah, some interesting points being said there. Now, you were drawn to the movement looking for support, obviously. One of the things that men need to realise is no one cares. Okay, if you're going to make it in this world as a man, you've got to do it on your own. Because there's fuck all help from anyone on any topic. And no one's going to listen. You've gone into these forums, I'm not sure, maybe your Reddit forums, I don't know where you're going, looking for support and direction. You're not going to get that from MGTOW. MGTOW is about freedom. And so as a MGTOW, you're not going to offer direction. You can offer support. You can offer experience, stories about your life and how you've experienced the MGTOW lifestyle. But you can't say this is how you've got to do it, because you've got to find your own path in life. It's not about being told what to do or how to live the MGTOW lifestyle. That's up to you. That's what it's about. So, yeah, you're that's the idea. You're looking for a group when all you've got in MGTOW is individuals. So it's not gonna I'm not sure where you're coming from as a young man here. This could be a generational thing. It could be you're missing some kind of insight into manhood. I don't know what this is.
So let's say that you have just gone through a rough time with a woman. Maybe it was a particularly harsh rejection, or it was a bad breakup, or something similar to that. You decide that it's time to focus on yourself and figuring out who you are as a man outside of your relationships with women. On the surface of it, that is a very noble goal, and you discover the MGTOW community, the men going their own way, a group whose self-proclaimed goal, once again, is male self-improvement by extracting oneself from society and relationships with women. So you find MGTOW and you think as a man, this is great. I think I've finally found my people. I like that there is this idea of men figuring out who they are when separated from society and relationships that we place so much importance and ego into. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to discover who I am as a man. And again, this is a pretty noble goal, because men shouldn't really be defining themselves based on their relationships with whatever person that they are attracted to.
Okay, that's made things a bit clearer. I think what you're searching for is, it used to be called the mythopoetic movement. That was a support group for men such as yourself. You're looking for some kind of understanding or inner understanding, put it that way. These days, so I don't know if they're still operating, but they're groups of men get together out in the bush and talk. They like have a weekend getaways and whatnot, and talk and play drums and stuff, I think, for therapy. I'm not sure, I don't know all the details of it, but that's the kind of thing that you're describing to me rather than MGTOW. MGTOW's, like I say, it's individuals. It's not like we don't, all the MGTOW I know get on with their lives. They don't sit around talking about, some rough breakup they've had or anything. That's not what the guys I know are about. Sure, there are some that have had like divorces, it's pretty devastating, but they just pick themselves up and dust themselves off. I've had really in-depth conversations talking about cars with men, and it's like you're discussing aspects of engines, and it's actually a mirror of the man's life. He's really talking about stuff that's gone on in his life, but it's in the context of the engine of the car. It's quite an interesting little aspect to maleness.
You should be defining yourself for yourself, not against other people or for other people. At this point, you are just looking for answers. You're looking for a sense of community. You certainly don't hate women, and you don't have this visceral disgust for the F word. And by that, of course, I mean feminism.
Okay, so things are becoming a little bit clearer here. Visceral hatred of feminism. The ideology I'm talking about, not necessarily the people. I think you should read a few books on feminism, because if you think feminism is just about equality, and if you think feminism has anything to offer men, dispel a few of those myths, mate. Have a read of a few feminist doctrines. It ain't pretty. I'll just give you that little warning.
But after you have spent less than 1 hour on a MGTOW forum or YouTube channel or website or subreddit, you will be bombarded with ideas such as feminism has gone too far and it's hurting men more and more every day, or that women are these hypergamous super manipulators who cannot wait for the day that you're stupid enough to marry them so that they can, and I quote, divorce rape you to take half of your stuff and leave you broken and destitute. If you find yourself deep enough down the rabbit hole of the MGTOW movement, you can easily find yourself surrounded by members of the alt-right and even white supremacists, which you, as a logical and rational and decent human being, obviously do not want to find yourselves involved with. After all, you just came here for self-improvement. You weren't coming here to learn about the great replacement theory.
Okay, so I don't know what the great replacement theory is, and I'm not sure that I want to. It might be something I'll look up later on. I don't know. As far as the alt-right goes, and supremacists. So alt-right is a leftist label that gets applied to people like Milo Yiannopoulos or Jordan Peterson, Turning Point USA, a couple of those people. Candace Owens, for example, she's actually been described as a white supremacist. She's a black woman. So these labels that you're hearing are there to stop you understanding certain aspects that the left don't want you to investigate. So if you, like, I've never come across a white supremacist. All right, now I've watched plenty of Jordan Peterson's videos and Dave Rubin, Okay, they're actually friends. Now, Dave Rubin used to be on the left, right? He's now called an alt-right. So don't get put off with these fucking labels, because they're there to shut you down, to stop you from understanding. Okay? Don't, like, if you get out of the mainstream and just watch what interests you, you will find that most of the bullshit that you're fed with labels, like memes, is just that, bullshit. So I know you're well intentioned, but open your mind, free your mind up from all the stuff that's been fed to you from childhood about how you are not, as a man, capable of understanding or doing anything productive with your life. Right? That's like, if you look at the Gillette ad as just one example, your just normal boyhood behaviour is demonised. Just normal masculine behaviour, demonised. It's called the woke left. You've got to, like, you've obviously been slightly indoctrinated into the feminist ideology by the sounds of it. You've got to get out of that. Okay, that's part of that rage that you're seeing in these forums and whatnot. So just the alt-right, it doesn't exist. It's just a label.
So you start to get more involved, and maybe it feels good for a little while to vent about some of the hypocrisies of our modern society. But that in and of itself can quickly spiral into something else.